Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dech Teck. I am Dell, and today we're going to talk about my Ishkanah Grafwidow deck. It's going to be a bit of a sad one because I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to take it apart. There's been a new Golgari Spider and the Lord of the Rings set, Shelob, Child of Ungoliant, Spawn of Ungoliant, I can't remember the exact name, but it does a lot more what I wanted to do with this deck originally, and we'll go into what this deck actually does now, which kind of lost the thread on it, pun intended. Spiders get it. But Ishkanah does what you can see here. 4 to green, cast it, reach, Delirium when it enters the battlefield, there are 4 more card types among cards in my graveyard. I can create 3 spider tokens, and 6 in the black, target opponent loses 1 life for each spider control. I've had this deck for a while. I really enjoyed playing it through the years, but a better spider came along, and it's going to break my heart because my actual commander is Korean, and it's signed by the wonderful MC Chris. He had a good kick from MCP Pants, you know what I mean? Also got on the side of Hijack, which is not in this deck, but if you know MC Chris, you know how that's pretty kick-ass. But what this deck became, besides a spider Typal deck, which we'll get into in a bit, is what I called a turbo fog deck. And it's mostly instants, and they're all fog spells. Let's get the fog right on top. Get it out of the way, as it were. So, 1 green, no combat damage, right? Then I have Root Snare, prevent all combat damage. Scaring Haze, prevent all combat damage. I can cast it for free if I control my commander. Constant Mist, creatures deal no combat damage. Has a buyback, sacrifice a land. We'll get into the second half of this deck as well in a minute, but I'm just going to go through these real quick. Jahiri's Respite. Search your library for X lands, number of creatures attacking you. Then prevent all combat damage. Simulacrum. All combat damage to you, or all damage done to you is instead retroactively applied to target creature control. Further damage is treated as normal. Kind of a fog spell. Can get around some stuff. Spore Cloud, tap all blocking creatures, no creatures deal damage. Wafers, Bob, what are you doing here? I'll talk about you in a minute. Druid's Deliverance, prevent combat damage, then populates, make more tokens. Terrifying Presence, one of the most on flavor for my fog spells, big spider in there. Prevent all combat damage, other than 1 target creature this turn. Winds of Kalsisma, prevent all combat damage. Ferocious, does a second ability. Lull, prevent all combat damage. Has a cycling ability. Also comes into play a little bit. Snag, discard a forest rather than pay its mana cost, but prevent all combat damage. Darkness, creatures attack and block as normal, but not are deal any damage. All attack creatures are still tapped. Moment's Peace, prevent all combat damage with a flashback. Probably the only second, I don't know. I kind of forgot this was in here too. The other on flavor fog spell, where you can make that many tokens and then prevent all combat by non-spiders. Still works. Attack creatures become blocked. No combat damage. Well, what do we want to say? Respite, no combat damage. Gain life after such. For no combat damage to be dealt to players this turn. For no combat damage turn, Faithful Hour, if I have less life, they do not untap. For no combat should be dealt, attackers don't untap. Haze of Pollen, prevent all combat should be dealt this turn with a cycling ability. Have I said enough times in a row yet to become mundane to you? That's the idea of this deck. I just sit around fogging everybody out until I'm able to do Ishkanah's second ability when I have enough spiders to kind of ping somebody to death. So won a few games. Mostly it's just shutting the game down and annoying my friends. Which, hey, that's fun sometimes. But I think what I'm going to do is end up going in all in more on the spider type. There's new spiders, there's other spiders. A lot of cards I want to play creature based, more so than just fogging people out. I'm going to keep a lot of the fogs in there, but I'm going to put more creatures in here too. Let's get into the spiders, shall we? We have Nyx Weaver. Beginning of your upkeep, put the top 2 cards of your library in the graveyard. Oh, the other ability I should talk about is the Delirium. have a bunch of different types and ways to put stuff in the graveyard, so I'm able to get that ability off when I cast my commander. Don't plan on casting my commander till later in the game, which can be a way to, what am I trying to say with this? Play late game, so another way that fogging myself or fogging out will keep me in the game long enough for this to happen. Kind of rambling a bit, but you get the idea. But I like this card especially. A little crumb or something in there. Something's stuck in there. I'll get it later. It's an enchantment and a creature count. Oh, there's like a dang old scratch on it. What the heck happened? Can't feel it through the sleeve, but you can see that. Holy heck. What was I saying? Well, it counts as an enchantment and a creature, so that helps that. And you can also return stuff from my hand if I so want. But the milling helps a lot. And we got Silk Lash Spider. I like this ability where you just ping stuff with flying. I have a lot of reach, but I like that, being able to ping the flyers. Obelisk Spider, probably one of my favorite arts too. Don't damage, but applies a -1 counter on it. And they can each opponent lose life, gain life. Arasta, one other way to make a bunch of spiders. I really like this art too. Triggers my tryptophobia, what's that called? But anytime somebody casts it, it's their sorcery, or my opponents do, I make a spider token. Got this signed by the artist. Reach and Death Touch. One of the few remaining spiders in this deck that don't do a bunch of other stuff, but I'm going to turn that back around because I really like that new Shell Up card. I thought I had a copy available, but I can't find them to buy it. But that's in due time. We'll talk about that deck when it comes through. We got Twin Silk Spider, make some tokens. Got Jungle Weaver, another good spider. I usually use the cycling on it, so I get this in the graveyard. I have a creature type. Probably my favorite spider card. I like the second ability, exiling cards to make spider tokens. And each opponent loses life. So get some life loss there. Spitting Spider, sacrifice a land, able to get the lands in the graveyard. Second ability there is really good. This is not a spider, but he has a bunch of arms. Secure Tribe Elder, helps for basic land search, and also gets a body in the graveyard. This kind of fits in with the Fog. We got Silent Arbiter, makes people more unable to attack me than normal. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really upset this isn't an actual spider, but I count it. It has a Fog ability, it looks like a dang spider. Spike Weaver, I count it as a spider. Most people would argue with me on that. I don't care. So, my spoiler alert, what my basics are going to be, they're snow-covered lands, so I can sacrifice one to 1, put it in the graveyard, and 2, prevent combat damage. If I didn't say that enough in this video. I also got Brainstone, some draw ability, puts an artifact in graveyard when I need it. Got some mana rocks to end up in the graveyard. I should put these in better order, but you get the idea. Got a Lotus Bloom, really sweet foil promo. Expedition Mat, land search, artifact in graveyard. Snaring Bridge makes it harder for folks to attack me, so I don't have to waste as many fog spells. Got Conjurer's Closet, bouncing my little Spider Queen, making more tokens when I need to. I love this card. I'm putting this on a lot of decks, and I can't wait. At the time of recording this, there's a Doctor Who set coming out. I'm really hoping they do like a TARDIS-themed Conjurer's Closet for that. Fingers crossed. Chromatic Star, Mana Ramp, draw, graveyard, Lotus Petal, mana, graveyard, Wanderer's Twig, same thing, sack it, put it in the graveyard, get a land, Chromatic Sphere, put an artifact in the graveyard. There's a theme here. Probably the most expensive card in the deck, Jeweled Lotus. Again, being able to cast my commander quicker, and I can use only to cast my commander. Never mind. I read the text. Usually use the cast, but I thought maybe you can use the mana for this for commander abilities as well, which makes me a damn dirty liar. Crucible Worlds. Hey, I got a lot of lands in my graveyard. I'm going to bring them back when I need them. Make it more difficult to attack. We got Crawl Space. And last but not least, Wayfarer's Bar. I should put that in better order, but again, putting an artifact in the graveyard, getting some land. You know the routine. We got Kroken's Pass in French. Beginning my upkeep, I have to tap a creature, else I sacrifice it. And any of my opponent's attacking creatures, I have to pay 2 mana for them to attack. Not the exact words, that's pretty much the verbiage as I have it on my phone, which I'm recording with right now. You guys can look it up. This is a really fun card. I got this for Christmas one year from the gift exchange online. Okay. This one I know I put in order. We got Doubling Season, Parallel Lives, Primal Vigor. Again, pumping out those tokens. Hey yo, I don't really need to explain that much. Warlord Wary, basic land cycling, 1 in a black. Don't really care about the rest of it. I like the art on this, I like the foiling on it, but pretty much get enchantment in the graveyard and being able to get a basic land is great. But 2 seals, signed by the artist, beautiful art, sacrificing to do stuff, more just to get an enchantment in the graveyard. Same with Font of Fertility, getting a land, dumping it in the graveyard. Whoop, I'm dropping the last enchantment here. And same thing here in this little destruction spell. I would like to put more enchantment recursion in here too, but we'll see how that turns out. Next we got our sorceries. Most of these are just mana ramp. Cycling, like I said before, the cycling on the creatures and some other stuff. That is a great ability where you can just draw a card if I don't need to use it, and then have something in the graveyard when I need it to add to the types. But this one also searches up basic lands. Cultivate, searches lands. Far Wandering, searches lands, has a threshold ability. Nature's Lore, searching for a forest. 3 visits, searching for a forest. This one's a tricky one. You'll see it in lands as well. This is usually in here just to return my commander to my hand. So in late game, when I've lost my commander a few times, I need to get it back on the cheap. 2 mana is not too bad to pay rather than higher commander tax. And Sylvan Scrying, of course, getting a land. Speaking of lands, we got our green-black land suite here. We got a cool Woodland Chasm foil, Old School Overgrown Tomb, Undergrowth Stadium, Temple of Milady, and Assigned Command Tower for the green-black mana. Up next are search lands. We got, of course, Verdant Catacombs, Prismatic Vista, Fabled Passage. We got our Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds, and of course we have Ash Barrens. Sometimes people actually catch that. I've heard you're allowed to search out snow lands, but they're basic lands, damn it. Just let me do it. Don't talk to me about that. Call a judge. And of course, for my commander, I got a cool signed Swarm Yard, the Regenerate Spiders, and Command Beacon again. Be able to get my commander back into my hand late game when I can't afford all of the taxes. And last but not least, one of the few decks I have all the same art. Just a bunch of forests and some swamps. And there you have it. This deck is not going to be the same soon. I might even do it after recording this weekend. Tear it apart, rebuild it, see what I can get around. I think I have a Shelob card. I know one of them is, the mono black one is in the commander deck that I got, but I'll have to look. I want to say I have a foil somewhere of the Shelob itself, the green black one. But for now, that's that deck. I don't know. I built some decks as a challenge. This one was definitely a challenge. I kind of lost the thread on it. I made the joke earlier, but it started as a Spider Typal deck and gradually became Fog because I found so many good Fog spells in green, found those cool ones in black, the Darkness, and the Simulacrum. Overall, not that fun for my friends, especially combat-heavy decks, but usually I end up losing to some sort of combo where I don't even get to do my craziness, so I think that's the reason I'm going to end up taking this apart and kind of focus on combat, kind of focus on the Typal theme, maybe put a coat of arms in there, do some more stuff. Shelob has some really good abilities for spiders to kind of urge me to, build a spider deck. So, hope you guys liked it. I'll be posting whenever I finish the Shelob deck sometime in the future, little update video for this. And let me know what you think. Did I miss any Fog spells? I kind of blasted through because it's the same spell over and over again, but just little different flavor variations, little seasonings on there, as it were. But until next time, love you.